Hey guys, welcome to another Trade Genius podcast. Bob and Phil here as always. Guys, Americans are going broke. They're getting broker by the year. And on top of that, it's confirming recession. We're going to talk about exactly what data is confirming this. You're not going to want to miss this. Let's dive in.
Trade Genius.
All right, Bob. So another wave of data points coming in telling us what we've already been suspicious of. And that is that not only are we in a recession already, but that the consumer is really hurting. And this time we're going to show them how it's really comes down to just incomes are falling year over year over year.
Yeah, we talked about this before. It's not necessarily the inflation rate that's a problem. It's the difference between the inflation rate and your ability to pay for the inflation. And if you want to throw that first slide up, Phil, this is scary. I mean, they talk, quote, the stimulus money, but people's salaries and incomes have been falling for the last 3 years relative to the inflation rate.
Right.
And I think next year is not going to be any different. That's why I always use that phrase inflationary depression, because it's really your ability to pay for things that really matter. People don't care, if house prices and everything's going up 10% a year, but your salary and your stock options are going up 20% a year. You're like, well, who cares, right? But this is different. That's a problem. And this next chart's really fascinating too. So the stock market has been narrowing and narrowing and narrowing. So all this stuff is tying together for us that we have a situation where, less and less people can actually even participate in the stock market, and more stocks are not participating in the up move. And usually, we're at a point now where I think it's as bad as it's been. I think only the pre-COVID high had a slightly higher concentration. And, now you're starting to see it fall away. And look, we've been telling you guys for a while now that we're going to get some weakness. But I think what happened this week is we expected a bounce yesterday. It didn't come. But we've seen some reversals here in the market today that I think might play through for a couple days next week before I think we roll back over again to end the quarter and start October. And Phil, do you want to kind of share people that information? It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So these two charts obviously are more macro. And I think that we have probably seen a good chance that our market top call that we had off of that bearish engulfing candle at the highs has a very good chance of holding the highs, which would be, if you zoom out, is a lower high, right, than what we had printed going into the end of 2021, start of 2022. So from here, it would appear, especially as we go into Q4, that we want to be looking for opportunities to short any moves that go up. And when you notice, if you look at the charts, even from 2022, if you look at the charts from 2022 till now, you'll notice that where we had our large market drops, in between the high and the low of that drops, you had sharp rallies. Sometimes they'd last 2 days, sometimes they'd last a week. And, you could see a 10, 15, 20% increase in the value of the S&P 500 and related stocks. So you want to be careful how you approach this. If you're just putting money to cash here, that's one way to do it. But if you're actively trading, you want to be a little more selective in how that you actively short the market. So that's what I wanted to show you guys on this next chart, was that the fact that even though, yes, we have a high concentration and historically that's very bearish, what we do have here is a short-term indication that we are due for a bounce. Hey guys, if you guys don't mind, head over to tradegenius.co. Check out our specials we have over there. There's a number of different specials with different packages for all different experience types. If you're more into education, we have a package for that. If you just like to get into the room, primarily, we have a package for that as well, where you can see where we're calling out trades and things like that live, and also posting signals into our Discord signal rooms. So check it out, tradegenius.co. Appreciate you doing that. So this is the chart, and what this is on top is the S&P 500, Bob. Below that is the red squiggly lines, and that is essentially the ratio of stocks going down versus stocks going up. And so when we have a high reading of the down ratio to up ratio, which is the case here, a lot of times, if you were to look at where that printed, where the top yellow line is there, all those peaks, you'll notice those peaks typically will either be a place where you want to cover shorts because you're going to get a quick spike higher that's sharp, or you're pinpointing a major swing low. Now, because we're just starting to roll over, we're looking for just quick short covering rallies versus like, swing lows or higher lows, because we're making a lower high here. And so we think we're going to get a series of lower highs and lower lows, but not a good spot here to sell the market. And I do see people getting a little more bearish in their tone and in their comments, but you want to pick your spots here. So just a warning that, even though we're being bearish macro here on this video, don't be surprised if we see a sharp move maybe in the next 2 trading days possibly, because these readings are fairly reliable.
And we're closing on the lows right now for Friday. The market is very, very volatile, but remember, you have to look at each week kind of like discreetly. And Phil, you discovered something which was pretty amazing, is that the market likes to set its own highs and lows on Friday for the following week. And I'm just wondering if we're setting ourselves up for putting a pivot in, people shorting the whole on Friday, and have that be the low for the week going into next week.
That's right. If you look back, many of the weeks that we've had going back, last couple of months, you'll find that the weekly move ends up topping out into Friday or bottoming out into Friday. And today it looked like maybe Thursday bottomed out, but lo and behold, we went up to a technical reference point that we pointed out in the room to target and then short. And sure enough, we came down and made new lows for the week. So once again, we have another weekly low on a Friday, and it works in reverse. You can also have a weekly high. So what that means is if you're trending one way, let's say Wednesday and Thursday, you can expect that trend to peak out going into Friday in this market as of late. And I don't see any reason why that would change. That's just a little tip that we've been finding in the data in the last couple of months.
Yeah, so that's all I have, Phil. And guys, next week's going to be a really strange week. A lot of cross currents. Seasonality says sell. Yom Kippur is typically a buy. The deval is extended. The market hates extremes, and they like to punish the people on the wrong side of that boat. So I think next week could be a little erratic, but I think both Phil and I are probably in agreement that at least the first couple of weeks of October can be pretty scary. So, and these last 2 weeks have been kind of scary. So just bear in mind that, the fun times are over in stockland. So you're going to have to be really, really careful of what you buy and what you hold and how you position yourself going forward. And
Right.
The thing that I worry about the most, and keep this in mind, if you see bonds down, oil down, market down, run to the bomb shelter, because that sets up a bigger, more like a crash kind of move, a 5-6% sell-off day.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, I think it's a sell the rip market now, Bob, and ultimately we're going to see some lower lows as we progress. And I think especially at this back half of October, you're definitely going to see a very bearish tone to this market. So that's all I got too. So guys, thank you for watching. Please hit like and subscribe, and check out our specials and our newsletter over at tradegenius.co, where we help you navigate the markets day in and day out. We'll see you on the next video, guys. Take care.
Trade Genius.